I've heard from a number of sources that they speak English with an Irish accent.
That's right. It surprised me as well. The first person I met, I think, when I arrived in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, was a writer called Juan José Delaney. Juan José Delaney. He's a novelist, an academic, and he explores the aspect of porteño. That's the way in which the Irish used English and Spanish. And he explores that in all different, in all its dimensions. He also had an interest in Rodolfo Walsh. But when he sat down and he met me in a cafe, I found it hard to believe that he was Argentine, because he spoke in an accent that could be traced right back to Westmeath, where his family had originated in the 1860s and 1870s. And this particular quirk, as you called it, this particular characteristic, was something that was common to the Irish Argentine community who were of a certain age. So the older they were, the more pronounced their Irish accent was. And they reveled in that. I remember one particular character telling me how he arrived in Dublin Airport, and he was being questioned by passport control, and they couldn't believe he was Argentine. They said, "No, you're Irish, aren't you?" And he said, "No, I'm Argentine." And then another interesting little story about that was a priest called Father Bob Kilmeet. Now, he wasn't a priest then, he was a seminarian, and he happened to be traveling to London, and this was in 1976. And when he arrived, his English was so perfect, and he spoke with such a pronounced Southern accent, that they arrested him, because they thought he was an undercover IRA man, getting into the country on an Argentine passport. And he said, "No, I'm Argentine, I'm not Irish." And they held him in captivity for 24 hours before one of the Palatine priests in London came up to the airport to search for him, and then discovered that he had been held because they were going to send him back to Argentina.